so we're doing some more viral / trendy clickbaity junk that I've had sent to me by followers. I get so many of these, especially now that I've leaned into it more, and some of them are better than others. So there's not much to say on some of these, but I always keep thinking like we're in such a weird moment now where like I feel like the ways that we're kind of moving forward or backward, depending on your vantage point as a species, we're kind of uncovering new styles and ideas. It's like there's nothing remarkable about this tattoo, really. But like you would have never had this done in the 90s.
No, definitely not, because people weren't walking into a tattoo shop with a cell phone going, I want this.
Well, I know, but like even like the way it's done, I don't think that you could have got quite this same thing then, right? Like it's very like of its time. I just don't see it happening in any other era.
No.
Also, like people's concept for what a tattoo is totally changed too. I remember like the idea of getting a tattoo, you would get something that would be like, this is going to be cool, you know? Like it was like, I'm going to be a badass.
I'm going to get a nautical star.
Now it's almost like there's this whole sect of the internet that has embraced this kind of like, life is meaningless. I'm just going to make my body like a joke board.
Right.
You know, like it's a whole different thing. Like we've taken on a very nihilistic strand here. And some people might not even think of it in any kind of a dark way. But like this is, when I see these, it's like the meme has become like more important than anything. Mm-hmm. Like the joke is more important than anything. And people are just always trying to get a laugh out of people.
Right.
The problem with this is like, this is only what a phone is going to look like for like another 3 minutes.
I know, and then eventually this is going to be like this weird retro device that no one even knows what it is.
It's like how many people know what a fucking VHS is?
Yeah,
like half
or like
of the half of the people watching this episode or more will have never listened to a cassette.
Right.
Like a phone in general. When I think of what a phone is, the first picture that comes to mind is like an old fucking like, you know, one of the ones that you would have sitting on a shelf.
Oh, my mom's rotary phone hanging off the wall with the cord that was like 10 feet so she could bring it with her to the bathroom.
So like this image only makes sense for a little while.
Yeah.
And a tattoo in general was supposed to be timeless, right? Like it was like, oh, well, this is why you see so many roses and shit. It's like a rose will always be a rose. A phone theoretically may not even always be something that we're holding.
Right.
Like it could be something in our brain fairly soon if Neuralink ever gets off the shelf, right?
Creepy.
So it's like this is dated already, right? This is already gone. Like the moment is already past where this, like, and it sounds crazy because people are like, oh, well, everybody knows it's a phone right now. It's like, yeah, but we're in such a rapid acceleration that this is already dated. Mm-hmm. Even if it's current, it's like it's already gone. The moment is already passed. Right. Same reason why I don't like these fucking like Catch Me Outside or like the Hawk Tuah thing. Like I've had that fucking one sent to me a million times, that Hawk Tuah thing. People have got it. It's like people won't even know what that is in like 5 minutes.
Right.
So it's just those things don't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. It's like I really hope you like this picture.
Yeah.
Because that's all it's going to be.
Right. So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, I like this because it's such an in. You know, it's like this tattoo's probably going to age really, really well.
Yeah, this is a great one.
But like this isn't exactly the micro tattoo that people are thinking when they say that either. Usually people, when they're talking shit about micro realism or like tiny line style things, where this is a micro tattoo, but it's trad, right? And trad is meant to hold up.
Yeah, and like those the little micro tattoos kill me because I've had a few clients come in and be like, hey, like I want this like really dainty fine line, and I'm like, I will not.
Well, the issue is,
and then they show me their like falling out tattoos and are like, well, but did it, and I'm like, yeah, but it's gone.
The issue is that there is a way to make something like that work. It's just that most people's expectations are unreasonable.
Well, and like I feel like most of the fine line artists that are doing it, have no business doing the fine line tattoos, and then the ones that are really, really good and that make fine line tattoos that last.
Yeah, well, they also
get
don't want
pooped
to
on
pay them.
for it.
They also don't want to pay them the money that will cost either.
Right.
Because like they'll come in for a walk-in style version of something that someone probably paid $1,000 for.
Right.
So, because people go to those fine line artists that do that stuff specifically for that style, and they pay for that style, right? Whereas they're expecting someone who just happens to have some time in their schedule at the end of a day to cough up something that's going to be of similar quality.
Because to them it looks simple.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, that's like, yeah, do me a circle real quick. But this tattoo, I've actually thought about getting a version of this of my own, right? Like I want to get some script on my leg at some point that's either something like I'd like to see that healed, or you can't tattoo over black, and make it as bold as fuck.
Yeah.
And just for it to be this meta joke.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know that I'll actually do that because, again, that's another one of those things that for the average person will make zero fucking sense, and it's not something that I actually even really want that much.
Right.
It's just to give the middle finger to a bunch of morons.
Right. A momentary haha.
And I don't know that I'm going to put that on my body or not. It might just make a better shirt, you know. But like theoretically that would be hilarious because I know it would hold up, and it would be a constant middle finger to people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
So I can appreciate that this tattoo is going to hold up very well, and it's going to stand in contrast to a well thought belief that you can't do these things. I like that shit. I think those people need to be put in their place a little more often.
Right. And then the next one is...
Yeah, this is the dog here. I think I've got the... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's the...
Yeah, I've got the dog. This is another one of those play on movement tattoos, and I really like this one because...
It's kind of like horror-y.
Well, it is, but you can't see the furry weirdness in the mouth unless the person stretches their leg out. I think this is a leg. So when it's closed, it just looks like a snarling dog.
And it's a good snarl.
Half of the tattoo is only visible when it's... Yeah, or at least portion of the tattoo.
Well executed, but again, why?
This one I like quite a bit more than the cats that we've seen, because in that they're just stretching, whereas this one you can see all new layers and details when the mouth is open.
Yeah.
So there's this one I included in here just to show that like there are levels to this thing, these moving tattoos, and I really like the thinking outside the box approach to it.
Yeah.
I don't have a place for this myself at all, or this idea. I think it's too gimmicky for me, but I like that they did it on the leg, right, not the arm, because like that's where you put these things. I don't like the stretchy cat that we've seen,
right,
where it's just in the middle of someone's sleeve, and it's like, one day when you want a real sleeve, this is going to be a real fucking problem. But for a lot of people, this could even be a portrait of their dog, for example.
Oh yeah, no,
you
for
know
sure.
What I mean?
You could get Momo.
Yeah, exactly. And like I do plan on having a portrait of my dog on my leg, so this is a pretty interesting way to go about it.
Momo biting chicken.
Yeah, that's then you only see the chicken when his mouth's open.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that idea. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's just goes to show you that even though I think this is a bit of a gimmick, it's there's still new frontiers in this in all ways. This one I had sent to me, believe it or not, by more than one person.
Really?
Oh yeah, you can see there. That's 73,000 likes. Whenever you have a post that's getting that many likes on one page, what ends up happening is like every tattoo page on the internet runs it. So, and this could even be an old one that resurfaced, because this looks like this woman's had this thing for a minute.
Yeah.
So, what's funny about this is I bet you this is her only tattoo. And it's just like she wanted it where you could see it all the time. She must have had some bad runnings with the cops.
I mean, I think that they're very polarizing, and a lot of people hate the police, especially in the U.S.
I'll tell you, I've not had any problems with the law at all, as opposed to what some people will maybe think. about heavily tattooed people, heavily modified people. I've been pretty straight-laced my whole life. The only times I've had to deal with the police were in regards to 2 of my loved ones dying, one of which was a suicide, and they had zero bedside manner. They were very bad taste about the whole situation.
Yeah,
so,
that's that compassion fatigue, though.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of the police, not because I've ever had any run-ins with them myself, but in any case I've had to deal with them, they've been pretty pig-headed. So I just think in general the industry is pretty callous. Mm-hmm. And when they're dealing with sensitive matters, I can see why people don't love them all the time.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm not one of these defund the police people either. I think they have a very important role in society.
I think they need more funding, more
I also
checks,
think
more
that
help, more
it could
everything.
be the case that they're just overworked.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the case is, maybe underpaid sometimes too.
And mental health gets away from them. Like being someone that's from a working with people with disabilities, seeing like the worst of people sometimes. Like I could see how
I get that even
see how we
just
get
being in social media dealing with too many people. You're like, you start to look at people as like parasites almost.
But then add like another layer there that like any one of those people that you're trying to help can turn around and try and kill you.
That,
But anyways,
I think it's a pretty fucking funny tattoo, and I love the placement. It's also very, very bold and readable from any distance.
right.
You could tell that there were some measures taken to make sure that you could see this one clear as day from down the road. And I, in general, when it comes to script, I like it to be bold.
Yeah.
I've got a couple script tattoos on my face, and obviously you don't want those to be super bold, but people are always having a hard time reading them. So
Well,
I know what they say, and that's all that really matters.
they're aging.
Well,
you know?
they've been touched up too.
Yeah.
So just when you have small script, it's hard to read.
Right. Well, that is exactly what happens. So
Yeah.
should we move on to this next one?
Yeah, this blast over chest piece. So we see the line here.
Yeah, crazy chaos, man. I don't even know how they're navigating this.
This is where it's easier conceptually to do what's happened on my body, where it's like, oh, at least it's just all black.
Yeah, this hurts my brain.
It's just so much information,
Having
right?
to find the lines in this would have been like a pain in the ass, but I love how it's turning out.
Yeah, that's a lot of opaque work in there. And this almost doesn't look real.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, and it does almost not look real.
Remember when we were talking about Buddy's the dragon thing that he had on his, like the dragon and the bird on his front?
It was a
little while
bird and a
ago.
skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was like a snake or something
Yeah, and
working
then
in
there's a
behind it.
snake behind it. This
I had
is the
said-
right size.
Well, I had said is pack it with opaques in the wings, and these are opaque grays. These
Yeah.
are not. This is not black and gray shade.
No,
So-
these are opaques, and this is
It's a very skillful
Nice.
use of them,
Yeah.
and I really love the texture they created. This kind of like velvety, smoky vibe.
Yeah.
The bat looks like out of this world cool. Like
Yes.
I really love this.
Oh, I figured it might be too happy for you.
Well, no, it doesn't look like human skin.
Yeah.
Because of the silkiness of the opaques that they
Well,
used
that's
here.
like the fun thing about opaques, though, is they have this like I don't know, this quality to them that if used correctly and not foolishly, they look amazing.
Yeah, and they've got different ones involved here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And with the black shading, it looks very, very like smoky. I really like it. I love that they did what I always say you have to do when you use these is you have to carry them through.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if they did anything else on the bottom. I would be very surprised if they didn't use opaques everywhere.
No, well, you need to. You need to. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
It'll look tonally completely divorced from
Right.
what's going on. My only real gripe here is I hate the way that it finishes on the collar. I want it to come up onto the neck. Mm-hmm. I hate when they do that. Like, I understand it, but like, if you've got this many tattoos, you can probably afford to have them be visible.
Yeah.
I really don't think it would be any kind of problem at all. And I think that there's like tattoos are becoming pretty acceptable, especially like if you've just got a little tailing off onto the neck. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying you need to make a full throat tattoo, but this almost calls for it.
Yeah.
It is like a new schooly vibe, but it's still got a really spooky kind of dark vibe to
Yeah.
it too. It marries really well to the sleeve there, the one sleeve I can see. I don't know what's on the other one, but it all looks about pretty good quality. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really like it, and I would like to see the rest of it get built out.
Me too. I'd like to, if anybody knows who owns this suit, or if
Yeah.
anybody's seen updates on it, it'd be
Probably-
cool if you'd send them in.
I would love to see how this develops, and I'm hoping that I will. I'm hoping that the algorithm will pick up the bottom the way that it did the top. Sometimes what happens with these is like people are only into it the first time, and then the artist will post it again, but
You never see it.
yeah, you never see it, and then so it doesn't end up trending, and then I won't get it sent to me again, right?
And then it's lost in the shuffle.
And I'd like to say that I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, but I have so much shit coming my path all the time that it's impossible for me to even keep track of this stuff. But
Yeah.
I really hope that this continues and that I get to see how it evolves, because this is fucking
Cool.
a master class of
Love it.
opaques.
Yep.
And really cool cover-up stuff. And this is just about the only way to use like a black and gray style to cover things up is with opaque grays. And so I really hope that the language around that expands, because so many people don't know what that is, and they think it's black and gray. And I think that confuses more people in the industry too. Like people will come in for black and gray cover-ups, and they'll have seen something like this, and it's like, oh, that's a full color tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same, but it's not the same.
Well, artists don't, and I hope that more artists like know that they can do this, and then like, you know, are looking at how this can be done and how
Well,
it works so
we
well.
use them so often here.
Oh yeah,
Like-
everybody in our shop. I haven't.
Alex did 2 of these in a row last
I haven't
week.
touched. Oh yeah, it was so funny. The first one she was kind of anxious, and then the second, like before the second one, she goes,
like, "Oh,
"I
got
love
this."
opaques."
Yeah,
I
I
was
got
just like,
this.
"I love you."
Well, because once you see that it works, I think like it's unlocking a cheat code.
Well, and she's just so good at
But,
her
like,
color saturation.
I think
so.
once you realize that you can do that, and it's like, oh, the color goes away, or
Yeah.
oh, the black and gray goes away. It's like some part of your brain unlocks where it's like, oh, I can cover anything.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like a question anymore. Because I think until you do it a few times, it's like, oh, will that work? And then you try it, and it does, and it's like, oh, so then I can just cover anything. Then. You understand you still need a good client that will sit for it, but like theoretically, there's nothing that you can't cover at that point. And so it's like being on God mode or something, I think.